Right, I'm just making a quick video. I want to do a shout out first to Jonathan Ashworth, who I met on the train coming to Coventry. I had a chat with him for about half an hour, and I was asking him what he's doing. He's an ex Labour Party. He was an ex Labour Party MP, and we've been having a nice little chat for half an hour. And I say he seems like a really nice, genuine bloke. Okay, right. So I am at Midlands Air Museum near Coventry. That's where I am. And I'm going to just do a video, a bit of a walk around. I'll have a chat about some of the aircraft. And the first aircraft that I've got here that I'm looking at is an F-100 Super Sabre. Now this aircraft was the first aircraft, this model of aircraft was the first aircraft that the US Air Force got a kill, an air-to-air kill in Vietnam. I think the first air-to-air kill was by the US Navy, which was an F-4 Phantom which shot a MiG down. And then this aircraft was the first kill for the US Air Force. Basically, there was a load of Thunder chiefs that were going to attack a bridge, and these F-100 Super Sabres were flying sort of cover for the Thuds, and they were going to attack a bridge. So the Thunder chiefs would have had 500-pound bombs on. And the Sabres, the Super Sabres, would have been the same configuration as what you can see here, with the large drop tanks, but with the addition they were carrying rocket pods for attacking ground targets, anti-aircraft installations, and ACAT guns and things like that. So basically, the Thuds were going to attack this bridge in Vietnam. And these Super Sabres were flying next to them as cover, and one of the Super Sabres, out of the clouds, they noticed MiG-17s popping out of the clouds, so they took sort of pursuit, and the MiGs could turn a lot tighter than the F-100s, but the American pilot managed to sort of chase down a MiG. And he was at quite high altitude. I think he was at about 20,000 feet, and the MiG made a run for the deck. So the MiG basically stick down, straight down towards the deck. The pilot of the F-100 opened fire with his guns. I don't know if you can see here, but an F-100 has got two 20mm cannons, so he was carrying some rockets, but all he had for shooting another aircraft, he had no missiles. All he had was these 20mm cannons. So he opened fire on the MiG and basically missed, and then he realised that his electronic gun sight was set for firing rockets, so the arc angle was wrong, so he fired again and he missed again, and bear in mind, when you're in a dogfight, you're only doing short bursts like this. You're only firing like short 2-second bursts. That's all you're doing. So he put the power on, he closed on the MiG, and he thought, right, this is my last chance. He pulled his trigger on his guns and he unloaded everything into this MiG at close range and shot the MiG down. And that would say this aircraft type was the first to get a kill for the US Air Force in Vietnam. Now, right next door to it, we have got a Canadian Air Force F-101 BANSHEE. Now these are a Century Series aircraft sort of thing, but these are better known for photo reconnaissance. And again, these served in Vietnam, and they served in the Cuban Missile Crisis. And in Vietnam, you would basically have a clean aircraft. You might have some drop tanks, but you'd have a clean aircraft, no weapons, no guns, no missiles. And then you go off with your cameras. The cameras used to be in the nose, and you go off doing your photo reconnaissance. And then if you got attacked by any MiGs, all you had was speed and just to fly in the other direction, fast as you could, sort of thing. So yeah, that's a good. So yeah, so let's say they've got in Canadian Air Force colours. Right, let's see what else they've got. So they've got quite a lot of unusual aircraft actually. So they've got an F4 Phantom in US Air Force colours, look. It looks like it's recently had a bit of a repaint. Yeah, which is good. And then they've got an F86 Super Sabre. So that, what I've just shown you, that F100, that followed this. So this is a Sabre, F86 Sabre, and that was a F100 Super Sabre. They've also got, which is really unusual, they've got a MiG-21, which is in East German Air Force colours. Now I made one of these as a model, and yeah, East German Air Force colours. And you can see it's got its missile on the rail, and they've got a MiL-24 attack helicopter, which is like, how often do you see them? You know, you don't, do you? I understand that this helicopter was donated to the museum by British Aerospace, and British Aerospace, likewise, was they got it off the Polish Air Force. They got it off the Polish Air Force. But yeah, it's a hell of a thing. Bearing in mind as well, you know, they're an attack helicopter, but they've got to show you, they've got a ramp around the back, and I think you can get about 16 soldiers, all with equipment on, in the back as well. So as well as sort of flying around and shooting at tanks and vehicles and stuff like that, then you can land, and then your 16 soldiers can pile out the back, and then they can do some shooting. Look, it's even got the gun. It's got a good old gun barrel on it, look. But we'll have a if we can get around the, oh, I don't think I can get around the back, actually. But yeah, and then what we've got in, I think it's Spanish Air Force colours, I think. We've got a 104, we've got a Starfighter. We've got a Starfighter. What model is it? It's a G, so it's a 104. Again, it's another Century Series aircraft. So yeah, 104 Starfighter. Over here, look, we've got a Fairy Gannet, ex-Royal Navy, and that's got a rocket on the wing, which they'd use against like, you know, surface target ships and things like that. Do you know what I mean? We've got a thing here as well, which I'll show you. We've got a two-seat Lightning, which is in Royal Saudi Air Force colours. Looks rather nice. These Lightnings were they're like an export Lightning, and they were you could fit them for ground attack. You could fit them with rockets. They had overwing tanks, bombs, you know, for sort of like ground attack missions, sort of thing. We've got a Canberra look there, which is rather nice. And I say, well worth a visit. A lot of aircraft. They've got a lot of aircraft outside on display, and they've got stuff you can go in. They've got a Vulcan bomber, which you can go into the cockpit, and then the volunteers can talk you through you know, the controls and stuff like that, and where everybody's sitting and stuff like that. So yeah, you know, I think it's rather good actually. I think it's definitely worth a visit to Midlands Air Museum, not to be confused with Cosford Air Museum. So we've got Sea Vixen here, look, Sea Vixen, which has got its nose cone open, so you can see its radar. You know, these were a sort of all weather fighter for the Royal Navy, and basically the pilot would sit in there, and then sort of low down on the other side, I'll show you, is where the navigator, weapons control officer would sit, and he would operate the radar. So we can sort of look in. See this sort of hatch here, that black hatch with the handle, and there's a sort of a window at the side. He would sit in there in the darkness operating the radar, picking up targets, sort of thing. Do you know what I mean? We've got a Sea Harrier as well, look. Sea Harrier. And we've got a Hawker Hunter. As well, popped in there. I think actually the rarest aircraft, we've got a Javelin as well, and a Seahawk. But I think the rarest aircraft they've got is this Bolton Paul P.111A, the Yellow Peril. By far, this is the rarest aircraft they've got at the museum. So yeah, so sort of Bolton Paul, you know, they were around sort of during the Second World War, and they made an aircraft. It looks a bit like a Mosquito, but it's got like a Lancaster turret on the back of the cockpit. I think it's the Defiant, like the Bolton Paul Defiant, basically. And the idea is that like a German pilot would come up behind it to shoot it down, and then this gun turret at the back would fire and shoot the plane down. But this Bolton Paul P.111A is an experimental aircraft, and it was made to test the idea of the delta wing. You see this delta wing, that's basically what it was made for. So it was a testbed aircraft. I believe it first flew in 1950. So you know, we're talking about the days when Great Britain ruled the skies. Basically, you know, we were like way ahead in innovation and technology in our aircraft industry. We were way out in front. And then obviously the government of the day, probably the Labour government of the day, you know, the country was skint after the war, and all the projects were scrapped. And I believe there was 2 of these built, like I said, as a test bed. And a lot of the aircraft at the time, they were like obsessed with the delta wing. So what I've just shown you, the Gloucester Javelin, with information they got from this, doing testing on this, that enabled them to build the Gloucester Javelin, because the delta wing is very strong. Because it's made very strong, and you can get good wing loading on it, sort of thing. So yeah, so I'm going to just show you this Vulcan bomber, the bombs and the blue steel, and then we'll just have a quick look in the hangar. But they say these are £1,000 bombs. They are what was dropped on the runway at Port Stanley in the Falklands. If you look at the one behind, that was their that's a £1,000 bomb. And basically the Vulcan could carry 21 of them, and it flew down the runway at Port Stanley, and then dropped them in sequence, you know, maybe like 1 second apart, and then managed to hit the runway once, and then put the runway out of commission for fast jets. Around here as well, which is another good thing, we've got a blue steel. So this was the UK's nuclear deterrent, and basically this blue steel, you'd hang one of them underneath the Vulcan bomber, and then when you were heading towards Russia, just fire it, and then then the aeroplane could turn round and you could cause loads of devastation. Do you know what I mean? Yeah, I'll come back, I think. But yeah, you can see, look, that's the good thing here. You can climb in, and then you can have a sort of a tour around the cockpit. Right. Yes, mate, I'm a YouTuber, yeah.
What's your channel?
It's Matthew Granger. Matthew Granger, yeah, so you'll see this. Yeah, all right, cheers. So yeah, we'll have a quick look in here. We'll have a quick look. But as I say, yeah, well, I reckon it's all right. I reckon it's well worth a visit. Do you know what I mean? Yeah. So in here, there's a lot of stuff in there. There's a lot of models, a lot of information. You know, stuff in glass display cabinets. You know, if you're into your model making, it's great. Do you know what I mean? They've got a vampire here. Look, that you can sort of climb up and have a look in. A little vampire. And then they've got, round here, they've got a shooting star. I think probably like some of the like the shooting star. Obviously they've got the Vulcan open. They maybe just got one thing open at a time, but yeah. So they've got a US Air Force shooting star. Right, that's all I'm doing for now. I'm going to stop the video. Hope you enjoyed that. Please like and subscribe. Cheers. Bye.